about 5:12 a.m. here on the West Coast, and I'm not going to talk in my usual loud voice because there are people of my family who are still going to be sleeping for 2 hours, so we'll try not to wake them up. But, in this new place we live in, we've got some room and new rooms and extra rooms and walls, and I think we'll be okay. So, I, was sitting on the toilet looking at Twitter, and I noticed that Tim Pool and Styx, Hex, and Hammer had shared the results of this quiz, and I've never taken this quiz, so I thought, let's take it, and let's see what happens. Do a video. There are 70 questions in the test, though, folks, so this could be a long video. Let's go. You will be presented with a series of statements. For each one, click the one with your opinion on it. Okay. Oppression by corporations is more of a concern than oppression by governments. Disagree. It is necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protect consumers. Disagree. The freer the markets, the freer the people. Free market, yeah, but not free trade. I think there's a difference there. I'm going to say agree. It is better to maintain a balanced budget than to ensure welfare for all citizens. Strongly agree. Publicly funded research is more beneficial to the people than leaving it to the market. Disagree. Tariffs on international trade are important to encourage local production. Agree. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. That sounds like some communism. I'm going to say disagree strongly. It would be best if social programs were abolished in favor of private charity. Strongly agree. Taxes should be increased on the rich to provide for the poor. Strongly disagree. Inheritance is a legitimate form of wealth. Strongly agree. Basic utilities like roads and electricity should be publicly owned. Disagree. Government intervention is a threat to the economy. Agree. Those with a greater ability to pay should receive better health care. Agree. Quality education is a right of all people. That's a tough one. I'm going to say neutral. Guys. The means of production should belong to the workers who use them. Disagree. That is definitely some communism. The United Nations should be abolished. Strongly agree. Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it. I mean, often, but not always. I'll say agree. I support regional unions, such as the European Union. I strongly disagree. I hate the EU. It is important to maintain our national sovereignty. Strongly agree. A united world government would be beneficial to mankind. Oh yeah, like the Tower of Babel. Strongly disagree. It is more important to retain peaceful relations than to further our strength. I'm going to say disagree, guys. I'm going to say disagree straight up. Wars do not need to be justified to other countries. Agree. Military spending is a waste of money. Disagree. International aid is a waste of money. Agree. My nation is great. Well, are you talking about my white nation, my European nation, like the people, the bloodline that I come from? Or do you mean the civic national situation like the United States? I'm going to say neutral. I'm not going to take a stance here because I don't know what they want. Research should be conducted on an international scale. Okay, sure. Agree. Governments should be accountable to the international community. Disagree. Even when protesting an authoritarian government, violence is not acceptable. Disagree. My religious values should be spread as much as possible. Strongly agree. Deus vult. Our nation's values should be spread as much as possible. Disagree. It is very important to maintain law and order. Strongly agree. The general populace makes poor decisions. Strongly agree. Physician-assisted suicide should be legal. Agree. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from acts of terrorism. Disagree. I'd rather we all have our guns and we can shoot the terrorist ourselves. Government surveillance is necessary in the modern world. Strongly disagree. The very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty. I mean, the government is supposed to be small, and it's not. But I mean, we're supposed to have a military, we're supposed to have court systems and prisons. I'm going to say neutral. Regardless of political opinions, it is important to side with your country. Yeah. It's like, okay, let's take it for example, right? Let's say we become a communist state in 4 years, and the Antifa people are in all levels of government, and they mess with our kids' education, which they're continuing to do, and they just turn everybody into transgender faggots. I'm going to actually have to say disagree. All authority should be questioned. Questioned, not resisted. Agree. A hierarchical state is best. Sure. Agree. It is important that the government follows the majority opinion even if it is wrong. Disagree. The stronger the leadership, the better. Agree. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. Agree. Environmental regulations are essential. As much as I love the trees and the nature, I think we can take care of it on our own without regulations, so I'm going to say disagree. A better world will come from automation, science, and technology. Sure, agree. Children should be educated in religious or traditional values. Strongly agree. Traditions are of no value on their own. I disagree. Religion should play a role in government. I mean, this is the funny thing. When people see this question on the left, they're probably thinking Christians and Muslims and Jews and no, separate church and state. And I see this and I see, well, religion is playing a role in government right now, just not those religions. Look at how this leftist cult has become a non-theistic religion. So I definitely would say, see, this is the thing. Like, I want Christianity to play a role in my government. I'm gonna have to say agree, even though it could happen. Churches should be taxed the same way other institutions are taxed. Disagree. Climate change is currently one of the greatest threats to our way of life. Strongly disagree. It is important that we work as a united world to combat climate change. Strongly disagree. Society was better now many years ago than it is today. Strongly agree. It is important that we maintain the traditions of our past. Strongly agree. It is important that we think in the long term beyond our lifespans. Strongly agree. Reason is more important than maintaining our culture. Disagree. Drug use should be legalized or decriminalized. Agree. Same-sex marriage should be legal. I used to be a very much agree person. I used to be very libertarian and say, why? Why not? Just let them do it. And look how much we've lost in regards to our culture. 5 years ago, it was just let the gays get married. Now it's just let us teach your kids that they're boys and girls inversion. Just let us teach your kids that they can get their dicks chopped off at age 6 and start taking hormones. It's all good. Just let us put women in combat. What's the problem? Just let us fuck kids. What's the problem? That'll be the next thing, right? So, sorry, strongly disagree. All of this needs to be rewinded. We need to go back to about 30 or 40 years ago. No cultures are superior to others. Strongly disagree. Sex outside marriage is immoral. As someone who has partaken in this many, 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 many times, I strongly agree. If we accept migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture. Strongly agree. Abortion should be prohibited in most or all cases. Strongly agree. Gun ownership should be prohibited for those without a valid reason. Strongly disagree. I support single-payer universal health care. Strongly disagree. Prostitution should be illegal. Disagree. Fuck it, just let them do it. Maintaining family values is essential. Strongly agree. To chase progress at all costs is dangerous. Strongly agree. Genetic modification is a force for good even on humans. Disagree. I think we can honestly, if you look at what they say, right? Like the Romans and the people from 2,000 years ago were a good 6 inches to 12 inches shorter on average. I think if you look at how women are the gatekeepers of sexual relations, they will always select mates that are stronger and taller, and over time the human genome becomes stronger. We are stronger physically. Not mentally, of course, but physically. I don't think we need to do modification. I think we can let nature and God play out here. So I'm going to say that this is a disagree. We should open our borders to immigration. Strongly disagree. Governments should be as concerned about foreigners as they are about their own citizens. Yeah, I agree. All people, regardless of factors like culture or sexuality, should be treated equally. Disagree. Sorry. It is important that we further my group's goals above all others. Agree. Capitalist, patriotic, statist. Very traditional. I'm a neocon. That's pretty funny. Ideological matching is a work in progress and is much less accurate than the values and axes. I mean, that's what it says, guys. It says I'm a neocon. What can I say? Let's go ahead and grab that. Now, I'm definitely not a neocon in the sense that we need to go liberate other countries, like Mike Pompeo was talking about regime change in China. That's ridiculous. And yeah, I will just save that. But you take this test for yourself and see where you guys land. I'd be excited to see where everyone goes. Anyways, that'll be for this video.